For the first time, 3 cities share the title of the world's most expensive place to live, and according to the Economist Intelligence Unit's 2019 list, weaker local currencies have pushed all 5 Australian cities surveyed down in ranking. Let's take a closer look at the findings. Hong Kong and Paris joined Singapore at the top of the list this year. Out of 133 cities surveyed, they're the priciest to live in and visit. Singapore's ranked highest for 5 years now. Osaka and Seoul complete the Asian entrance here. Also in the top 10, the usual suspects, Swiss cities Geneva and Zurich. Now they're all benchmarked against New York. Lower down the list, Australian and Chinese cities have mostly seen a decline in rankings, while Southeast Asian cities such as Malaysia have seen the biggest jump.
Many of the cities that are in the top 10 or that have moved up this year are those that have seen stronger currencies. So, for example, US cities or cities in the Middle East or Hong Kong, they have seen this increase in their cost of living. However, it's not the only factor. And one great example is Paris, which is tied with Hong Kong and Singapore as the world's most expensive. Even though the euro depreciated quite a lot over the last 12 months relative to the US dollar, Paris has still had an increase in its cost of living.
The survey compares the prices of 160 products and services across more than 90 countries. Here are some of the comparisons of items. New York, out of the top 10 most expensive cities listed, is where you'll have to fork out the most for a bottle of beer at around $3.30 US. A loaf of bread, the most you'll pay, is in Seoul, where it costs on average more than $15 US. And a haircut for women on average costs $210 US in the Big Apple, again the most expensive among the top 10. Well, weaker local currencies have pushed all 5 Australian cities surveyed down in the ranking, making them more affordable to live in. Sydney has fallen from 10th spot last year to 16th, while Melbourne at 22 this year is no longer in the top 20.
They all had a reduction in their relative cost of living by between 10 and 15%. We compare everything relative to New York, and the decreases were larger in Sydney and Melbourne, which are the 2 most expensive cities. So we really do see in the same reflections that you have in the property market in Australia, that's reflected in our cost of living survey.
As for the least expensive places to live, Caracas has become the world's cheapest, displacing Damascus in Syria. No surprise there, with Venezuela's deepening economic crisis, hyperinflation and a breakdown in public services fueling growing social unrest.